Well, good morning, Allison. Nice to have you with us this morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. By way of a formal introduction, Alison Logan, home insurance covering property and casualty. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, yes, yes.
All right. Whew. Good, good. Well, the purpose of this podcast is, in fact, it's entitled The Mindset of a Champion. What sets you apart? And it's really an opportunity to get to know you and your business and how you serve your clients and really what sets you apart in the industry. And, taking it from a lender perspective, there's thousands of us. We're a dime a dozen out there. But at the end of the day, what sets me apart? What provides the best service to clients that perhaps is just a little bit unique so that I can help my realtor partners and ultimately their clients too. So let's get to know you a little bit better. Can you tell us a little bit about when you first started in the insurance industry and kind of what was your journey there? What led you into insurance?
Yeah, so I think obviously I never dreamt of being an insurance agent. I feel like most of the time, if you don't really know much about insurance, if you're in the real estate industry or anything, you kind of don't think of it as a glamorous job. You think of your Jake from State Farms or just like your little
Right.
Geico lizard and call centers. And I know whenever I first saw my opportunity to get into insurance, I was like, oh. Not sure if that's actually what I would want to do, but I knew I always wanted to be in sales and being in a position that I was going to be the determinator of my own success. But I did stumble upon my job in October of 2020. I had started working for Goosehead Insurance in their corporate office. I moved to Dallas. It's my first job right out of college, and I was just super excited to just kind of be in a position where I was creating success for myself and creating a name for myself. And so I started working there. I worked there from October of 2020 to April of 2023. In
Okay.
April 2023, I did have the opportunity to purchase my own franchise of Goosehead Insurance and launch my own agency, which is now what I own and operate, the Alison Logan Agency. Right now, it is just me, but I'm currently in the works of hiring and bringing on some new team members as I am expanding. But I've been doing the insurance for about 5 years now. I'm very passionate about it. I love what I do. I love being able to service people. I love taking care of my clients, and I love constantly networking and just meeting new people. But it's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. I've now hit President's Club, going on my fifth year in a row. So
Congrats to that. That's
I
awesome.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know a sales calendar year with President's Club hit, so it's basically in my DNA now. But I just love what I do, honestly, and I'm extremely blessed and thankful that I was able to kind of get into the industry whenever I did and just see the success that I've been able to see and get to where I am today.
Oh, that's incredible. And you think about it, the timing of when you came into the business, COVID time, and it was weird. It was just weird timing out there for everybody and businesses. And unfortunately, at least a lot of my colleagues, they left the business. Times got really, really difficult, and yet other businesses began to flourish and take off. And so seeing how you came into the business during that challenging time, I'm sure you saw some pivots and some adjustments that you had to make during that time to make sure your business stayed successful.
Oh, 100%. Because with a lot of our stuff was kind of in person, getting out there. Our bread and butter is working with loan officers and realtors, and assisting their new home buyers and going ahead and closing on the home. Because obviously, insurance is going to be a requirement to close on your home. Sometimes when you work with loan officers, as you know, there's DTI issues. There's certain things you need to work around. So always working with a trusted insurance partner is needed. So it's makes things super seamless for you. So you can let me know, like, hey, Allison, we need to make sure we have the insurance here under X amount for the month. Can you go ahead and try to make that work? So a lot of our networking at the beginning was you would go into people's office, and as you know, after COVID, a lot of people
Yep,
switched to remote. So
we
it
sure
was a little
did.
bit of adjustment because I was trying to figure out how do I build my network? How do I meet people during a time where people aren't out? So I was having to learn how to adapt to cold calls, and just letting winning somebody over with just a 30-second spiel on the phone and getting them to actually know me and wanting to work with me. Because, like you said earlier, there's a thousand people that do the same things that we do, have the same
Mhm.
products, are able to do. the same type of service, but it's the way that they do the service and what makes you different from the other people that you work with. And so that was a challenge at the beginning, trying to figure out what's going to make me stand out, and just kind of building my network that way. But it's always a fun challenge to have, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when you think about insurance, it is absolutely something that can make or break a deal, as you said. And having a trusted partner like yourself in the insurance business that knows the ins and outs, knows what underwriting wants to see, what they want to see as far as coverage. They want to see sometimes it's a certain maybe deductible or whatever it is, replacement cost versus
Yeah,
what's the other one? Replacement cost versus actual cost or something like that. And all those things, whereas I don't, but I
right.
hear it. But having that trusted professional like yourself, it just takes the whole stress away. And then how you work with the clients. I've seen how you worked with them now as you and I are helping a gentleman right now. It's amazing to see that. And no doubt that's one of the reasons why your business continues to flourish and why you're building your team, your business right now. That's awesome. I had another question with regards to insurance. You know, I would venture to say the general homeowner has no clue what coverage is appropriate, what they need, and maybe even when you work up the quote for them initially, um, what should a homeowner be conscious about as far as the right coverage? What kind of how does that conversation look like when you speak with them or send them a quote and maybe have to explain what they need?
Yeah, no, of course. What I always like to do is I always kind of like to assess the client's needs at first. Are they somebody who really cares about having all the bells and whistles on their policy? Are you just somebody that, hey, I know I need insurance, I just want coverage and I'm not really caring what's on there, but I always make sure that I cater to what exactly the client wants while always
Mhm.
still making sure that they are adequately covered. So I like to do kind of go through a whole spiel. I have like my whole presentation routine where I go through line item. I give you your examples. I'll kind of make it as personable as possible. And again,
Hmm.
insurance is not something that's fun, and the average person is not really educated about it. So I make it
Hmm.
relatable. I make it a less painful conversation to have. And I really make sure that I'm explaining it on a level that you will understand it and you will be an insurance
Yeah.
expert by the end of that call that we have. So I always like to go through coverages. I like to let them know, like, hey, this is what I'm giving for you. We can adjust this. This is typically at the max. If it's for example like a water coverage, I'm giving them 25,000. Hey, this is probably the max that this carrier is going to provide for us. We can go down to a 5,000 one. Here's the price differences. Let me know, and I will give them, here's the benefits of having more coverage, and here's the benefits of having lesser coverage, and kind of just weighing out the options with clients. As well as too, especially here in Texas now, the wind and hail deductibles are going
Oof.
up. It used
Can
to be
imagine.
when I started in 2020, 1% wind and hail deductible over here in DFW. No question asked. If you had 2% deductible, you were literally on the crazy side. You're like, okay, you're a risk taker. Nowadays, it's standard 2% all across DFW, and it's like
Wow.
a diamond in a rough finding a carrier that
Right.
will do a 1%. So I think it's just to educating clients on like, hey, this is what the 2% deductible actually means. It's not 2% of your damages, it's 2% of your coverage A, which is going to be your dwelling costs. Just really breaking down those things. We've
Yeah,
also
that's
noticed
helpful.
a lot of times too, a lot of carriers are out here giving OCV coverage on the roof, which is roof payment schedules. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people will get quotes and maybe their person that they're getting presented to mentions it, but they don't elaborate of what it means. And again, if you don't understand insurance and you just hear, yeah, your roof
It's like
cost is that a scheduled replacement cost or a scheduled endorsement, they're like, okay. And if you
they're
don't
like, huh?
elaborate, they don't know. And what that means is your roof's not at full replacement cost. If something happened to your roof, you're not going to get that full payout with it. And so those are just things that you kind of want to look at nowadays because they are
Yeah.
changing. It's also just making sure you have the correct amount of water damage and just other things. And I really like to explain to people what things mean and let them know the differences of having the coverage and of not having the coverage and let them decide if that's going to be what they prefer or not. But I always like to make sure that my people are covered with all the bells and whistles, just because you never know if something can happen. And I'd rather you be protected than not. even if it
Yeah.
costs you spending a little bit extra on the policy because it makes a world of a difference.
See, all of those explanations, those are things that were never explained to me ever. Just here, sign this, right? And it's
Right.
because we trust our insurance people. And one of the reasons why we learn to trust so much is because we don't understand it. We're just like, okay, I hope everything's going to be okay.
You're the
But the
professional.
way,
Thank you. Like,
exactly. And you know what, Allison? I find that to be the case in my mortgage business too, is most home buyers today, even though they've done a little bit of research, they check out and see, ChatGPT says this or what Google says this about the home buying process, and they'll come to me and I usually ask them, what do you know about the home buying process? And let them talk. And I usually find out that maybe a little bit of what they found out is correct, but there's so many things. So we go back to 101. I said, would you mind if I explained how from the lender's perspective, how the pre-approval process goes and then the loan process goes? And I break it down line for line. This is exactly what you're going to see. This is what is going to happen so that there's no misunderstandings later. And I'm sure from your perspective too, once you do that, it just builds that trust factor with your client. Have you found that to be the case as well?
oh, 100%. I honestly feel like all my clients are mini extension friends of mine as well. So it gets
Yeah,
us to know each other on a personal level. I feel like I gain trust with them because I am advising them what's going to be best for them. And I'm like, hey, I'm not looking out for my best interest here. I want you to be better protected. And so again, I feel like it just instills more of a trust and really explaining to them because there's some things, again, some people are shady. Some people just kind of skate over things. They've addressed
yeah,
it, not fully addressed it, but they've skate themselves by because they had somewhat addressed something, whether they have gone into it in details, but they still let people know. It's just like, I think just really getting in there and going through the nitty gritty with the client and being like, hey, I'm going to be transparent. This is exactly what this means. If you are okay with this, then I would say yes, you can have that coverage. But if that is a deal breaker for you, we need to make a change in your policy.
yeah. That's so good. And before we actually met, the I had what was it? Oh, the agent had sent me, um, here's a couple insurance people to try, whatever. Sure, no problem. And so I did. I got some quotes, and then I looked at it. I was like, I didn't know if it was out of whack or not. When yours came back, I looked at theirs and I just put it side by side and went down the coverages. Yours was way less. The coverages were equal to better. And I'm like, so that just shows that there are people out there that are either in it for the one time transaction, they're going to make as much money as they possibly can on it, and maybe not really care about the relationship and helping people understand what they're getting into. And when I saw yours, I thought, this is a good one. That this person really cares, right?
Yeah.
There's a
And
care factor,
but it's too, it's the best part too. You got to think about this. You as the lender, when you refer us like a client for insurance, they're not refining every single year, right?
right?
But they do get an insurance renewal every single year. So a client that you, John, send over to Allison, me, I'm going to be talking to these clients year after year with their renewal. And I get to slip in like, oh yeah, I chatted with John the other day. He told me if
Yeah,
I talk to you guys, let you know, ask how you guys have been doing and stuff like that. Just also having that touch point that keeps you front of mind, you as the lender, or even the
yep,
realtors, or anybody else that also was in the transaction, be front of mind for that client, even if you aren't the one talking to them, just because we have that relation and I can do the name drops because I have more touch points with them as we
yeah.
have policy renewals, and that leads them to come back to you for any other new purchases for investment properties, or if they're just moving to new homes, if they ever want to do refis, and then also for the realtors if they're looking to purchase a new home or just even giving referrals to you guys for their friends or family. It just that kind of helps kind of keep you front of mind as well without you having to do anything.
Yeah, I love that. That's so important. And one of the things I started doing a few years back is, especially I think during COVID time, because we were, pivoting, doing things that, okay, we got to do business a little differently. We're not going to the office. What are we doing here? And one of the things I started doing is going back to my past clients. And and these were folks that maybe had all kinds of different insurance policies from different agents. And I says, send me your current policy. Because a lot of them escrowed it and they were being sent directly to the lender. I said, send me your current policy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one of my trusted insurance agents take a look at it and see if it's still the right fit for you and just had them analyze the policy every single year. And that's exactly what I want to do now with yourself is all of my Texas clients that I've had in working with all kinds of different agents is I want to start gathering those. And basically it's a service for me to say, you know what? We want to try to save you money if we can, but make sure that you're still getting the best possible coverage. Allison's going to take great care of you. I'm going to connect the two of you. And what that's done is exactly what you said. It keeps me in front of my client. It now introduces you in front of them as well. And we do this, I would say, probably 2 times a year. One for the insurance and then one for their loan, because we have a little program that alerts us that says, hey, their loan anniversary is coming up. And so I really, appreciate what you do for your referral partners as well. And that's how we reciprocate as well, trying to get more business coming your direction. So we'll make sure that happens again.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit about at the beginning, the mindset of a champion. And that can mean a lot of different things to different people. But I'm interested on your thoughts on it. Um, what does having the mindset of a champion mean to you? And more importantly, how does that impact or affect your daily routine?
Well, in my opinion, I've always been a firm believer in this. Your mindset in life and your mindset, the way you approach any type of situation is everything. If you go into any type of situation with a poor mindset, a doubtful mindset, or just any type of mindset that would be type of negative, you are going to get negative results from what you're doing. And so your mindset is everything. Believing in yourself and just being confident in yourself and what you're able to deliver and your capabilities. If you know who you are, I've always been a firm believer saying, like, I know who I am. I know I will be the best damn insurance agent somebody will ever meet. I know
Yes.
I'm capable of getting things done. I'm capable of getting them done fast, correct, and efficiently. And I always have just been believed in myself. And that's always powered me through everything. Even if there was times of doubts and I'm like, dang, how actually am I going to do this? I believed in myself. And I told myself,
Right.
you are going to do this. There's no question. When there's a will, there's a way. I'm always going to get something done and I'm going to make something happen. And I've always been a firm believer as well. Whatever I want in this life, I can have it. I just need to put in the effort and make things happen. And so it's just having that type of mindset that I'm my only competition. It's you versus you.
Yes.
Nothing else in my way besides you. You are the biggest person that will get in your way. And the biggest obstacle that you have in your life is yourself and your own doubt within yourself. I mean, I'm thinking back to the first time I hit President's Club my first year. That was
Hmm.
I was the first person to ever hit President's Club in their first year. This is back in 2021. I had
Right.
came off of my 10th month. It was August. That was my 10th month with the company, not 10th month of the year, obviously, but it was in August, and I had hit 30,000, and I did the math, and I think I was like 100,000 away from hitting President's Club, or a little bit, maybe it was like a little bit over, and I had to hit pretty astronomical numbers from here on out the rest of the year, where there was some times where I'm like, dang, Allison, this is going to be a lot. But I never really told myself that. The whole time I told myself, so when you hit President's Club, this is what you're going to do whenever you're on the President's Club trip.
Right.
Spoke everything into existence. And I feel like that really is, if you want to have a champion mindset, you need to speak things into existence as if they already have happened. You need to
Yeah.
believe in yourself. You need to never bring any doubt to yourself. Because if you have doubt in anything that you're going to do, you're never going to be able to accomplish it.
Yeah. So that's so true. And for people, when we see a champion, usually we equate it to somebody in sports or, some musician or whatever. And, what is it that makes them a champion? It generally has to do with W's, in the win column. But those wins um, don't always equal a championship. Sometimes they are the journey getting there.
Mhm.
It's a win here, how I help my client, or they won this particular game that leads them to the next game, and they learned a lot of lessons on this one, which is a win, even though they might have lost that particular battle or maybe even that particular client. Here's what I learned from it. Here's what we can do either better, or you know what, that particular client really wasn't somebody that I should be servicing anyways.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to fire our clients, you know. I'm sure you've had run into that position, you know. So a win, in my opinion, has to do with a lot of the journey, not just the the end result. And I love how you said it's the mindset. It's what we feed our mind because all around us is self-limiting beliefs and you can't do it, you're not good enough, there's always somebody better than you that can do this. And that's a fight for a lot of people. So it's nice to see how your mentality overcomes that. And I got to believe that and maybe I ask you this, how does having knowledge, so much knowledge of the insurance business and how things work, how does that feed your confidence?
Obviously, knowing what I'm talking about is going to help out a lot just because I'm able to actually educate, pull facts, and do all of that. But I think it just adds extra support to it. But I remember back even my first month working in the company, I was still telling people, hey, I'm going to be the best damn insurance agent you ever work with. And I didn't know everything at that very moment, but I knew that if I needed to, I could take a step back. If somebody asked me a question I didn't know, quickly figure
Go
out the answer
research it.
and then let
Yeah.
them know. And that was also going to help me educate myself. Acting like I knew something and then figuring it out right then and there was going to be something that like helped it click in my brain. And I think that's what helped me learn a little bit faster. But obviously now I know insurance like the back of my hand. I could probably teach it to a baby. I'm very passionate about it too. So I guess that helps my confidence with it. But I think it's overall just now I know exactly what I'm talking about. That like helps with the confidence. But it's like even before then, I think it's just you having confidence, I think will help bring you knowledge and help you get more educated in what you're doing as well. Just being confident that you can learn it and you will understand this material.
Yeah, no, that's so well said. And you think about a champion and what it means to you. And the second part of the title is what sets you apart. So if I was to ask, Allison, what sets you apart in the insurance business and the way that you help your clients, what would you say to that?
Well, first I'll just start with is I'm Alison Logan. I'm there's nobody like me. And it's just being confident in myself as I carry
Yeah.
myself. Like I am a very strong, confident woman. I know exactly what I can bring to the table. I know I'm fast. I know I'm efficient. I know I'm educated. And I know I can get things done. I can get them done in a timely manner. And I'm also very, very adaptable. If I don't know how to do something, I will figure it out and I will figure it out fast. But it's also I carry the personable and the personability and the being reliable. I've been in the industry for 5 years. Nobody that I've ever worked with has to worry about me potentially not working here or anything like that or leaving. I'm reliable in the sense that I always answer. I always get back with my referral partners. If I'm not able to do something, I will connect you with somebody that is able to do something. And not only am I just connecting you with somebody, but I'm connecting you with somebody that I think is a like-minded individual to myself. So you are going to get the same type of service from them as you were to get to me, because I would never pair you with somebody that I wouldn't pair myself with. But again, it's just me being confident and me being the enthusiastic person I am. I've really tried to find a commonality with every single person that I work with, every client. They're not just somebody that I'm trying to get on the phone, sell them something, get them off, and never talk to them again. I find a way to be relatable with my clients and create a relationship with them. And most of my clients, I don't insure just them. I insure their mom and dad, their brother and sisters, their aunt and uncles, their neighbors, their coworkers, and all of that because we did have this personal relationship and I did make them feel comfortable enough. But again, I think it's just what brings me out from different because again, it's everybody, there's a lot of people that one do insurance, let alone there's a lot of people that work within Goosehead's realm. But it's again just me being who I am and authentically myself. I think that's the best part too, is just don't ever be shy to be yourself. And it's everybody. everybody's looking for somebody to make them feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and that they can just actually talk to. I think again, insurance is not the most fun conversation. So if you're getting on the phone with Joe Schmo who's, hey, how are you? Well, it's already making a painful conversation more
Yeah.
painful. So let's try
Sure
to find
is.
a way to make things again more enjoyable, and it's like a not a dreadful conversation, and you kind of maybe get excited to talk to me. Like, oh my God, I get to talk to Allison again, and stuff, those types of stuff. But again, it's just being confident and just knowing what you can bring to the table and knowing that you are better than other people that can do this job, and you can do this job better, more efficiently, and more timely. It's just what sets you apart from the others.
Yeah, no, that's so well said. And I can tell you too, as far as responsiveness goes, at the point that we were connected and helping our current client, it's just speed. It's fast, it's efficient. You got us the policies, I mean, we got it into underwriting faster than we've ever taken another policy.
Right?
And yeah, that's so important because, I heard a phrase the other day, speed solves everything. Time kills deals. And when I look back and thought about that for a moment, especially in our business too, is if the longer something goes on, maybe the longer the pre-approval process goes on, or we're already open escrow and we're in that 20 to 30-day window. If that gets pushed, the more time they have to shop you, the more time they have to say, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm dissatisfied. And time can kill deals that way. So I really appreciate how quick you are to respond, your texts, phone calls. It sets you apart, and it makes it so now I've changed all of my insurance needs to you. And the fact that you also referred me for California, really appreciate that too, because we have about 30 loan officers that all work remote, different parts of the country, a lot of them here in California. But now I can also set them up with you and make a formal introduction. So I think that would be really cool. And the other thing I'd like to do is maybe have you join via Zoom our team meeting. We usually have it on Tuesdays around 10:30 our time, 12:30 yours, and maybe um, present yourself a little bit to see what you do, kind of what we've talked about, what you do a little differently in the insurance business. And that way you'll have 25 loan officers to 30 loan officers introduced to you right away. Would that be
Yeah,
okay
no,
for you?
duh, I would love that.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. So we'd like to do that. And one of the things that helps me maintain that mindset of a champion, that I can do this. If I don't know it, I'll find out the answer. I'll make it happen. Is also waking up intentional every single day and knowing your why. And for me, it's my wife. My wife is my why. I know exactly, why I'm getting up to go do what I'm doing. And, all of us have various whys in our life. But once we know that and we're clear on it, then the intentional part becomes a lot easier. You're like, okay, in order to do this, we've got to do this. In order to get here, we've got to start here, go there. And it becomes I have a question for my team that I ask every single day. What does your perfect day look like? And they answer it via text. Usually we're on a big group chat. And, some people at first, they're like, what? No one's perfect. I go, I know. But what does your perfect day look like? What does your dream day look like? And then they start putting numerics to it. I make 50 phone calls, cold calls. I do, you know, 5 new realtor calls, whatever it is. And I do X amount of social media. I do this, and that. So by the end of the day, they know what their perfect day is because they can look back on it and repeat it the next day or exceed it. So by the end of the week, what's your perfect week look like? You know, so
Building off the
those,
perfect day.
Yes, exactly. So
I like
really,
that.
really, yeah, it's we learned that from um, Matt Ishbia, who is the president and CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM, number one lender in the country. And when he speaks to us every Wednesday, we tune into his program. He just has these mindset things, him and his team, to really help us grow. And sometimes, it's yeah, we have those days where it's like, man, I'd really like to just not crawl out of bed today, or I'd rather let's just take off and go to the beach today, or
Yeah,
or or, or whatever. Um, but it's all comes back to having that mindset. And so we're
exactly.
grateful. We're grateful for you, for what you're doing for our clients, and how much more you're going to be doing, because we're going to shoot you a lot more business.
Yay. And I'm ready to take it on. So, and then we'll get taken care of with great care. So you don't have to worry about that.
No, I have no worries about that. And well, thank you so much, Alison Logan, handling all of your property and casualty insurance. And it's apparent you have the mindset of a champion, and how it translates to your clients is unbelievable. You take great care of them, they become your family, as you mentioned, your family and your friends. So thank you so much for taking some time to. Um, Jump on the podcast, also to share what really sets you apart.
Of course, of course. It's always a good time chatting with you. Like-minded individuals. It's always a great conversation. So I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely.